Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, riveting, and amazing Propagandacast with me, host Imperial Dane, off here to a 1v1 from the Master League once more. This time, we see in the southwest Theodosius fighting for America, freedom, democracy, the 82nd Airborne. In the northeast, we have VonIvan, putting the fun in Ivan, as always, taking on the role here of the 26th Panzer Division. So, we're off to the races here. Pathfinder start here from Theodosius. And Pioneer Ink Grenadiers start here for VonIvan. Noting no extra... we actually send Pioneer Squad there. Also, Airborne there for VonIvan. We got no battle group choice yet. And of course, this is a map from the Master League. It is an updated version of Crossroads for Companies 3, which is also notably larger than Crossroads was in Companies 2, which is definitely a significant improvement, as one of the issues that map was, it was too small. So we'll see, of course, how players handle it. So, Pathfinders here are plenty for Theodosius. Fill up with some rifle squad there to provide a bit more backbone here. Pioneer rushing out to the sides. Grenadiers at the centre here for VonIvan and the German army. We do get Mechanized here for VonIvan, looking to perhaps utilise the power of field equipment here on this map, which certainly now is a bit more roomy, and thus definitely could see a bit more work for vehicles to work on. So, an Actard here, for example, could be quite good. Multiples, even so. And U-42 falling up here, though, for VonIvan. So far, though, no signs of contact, as both sides are looking out. As always, a big hearty thanks to my page supporters for the continued and generous support of the Propagandacaster, allowing me to keep doing what I do on a daily basis. Pioneers pushing out here. Up north, Grenadiers probing in there. Far south, Pioneers also poking about. First shots fired here. Close to the centre, got Ralph's going to gain the Pioneers here. Shots fired. Pioneers quickly rush going to some shrubberies, hoping to at least be a bit harder to hit for the Americans. Obviously, the shrubberies won't provide any direct hit protection, but, you know, again, might make them slightly harder to hit. The Pioneers, though, holding up for now, but I think they're limited how much time VonIvan can buy. There's the Ralph's squad there against Theodosius. North here, Grenadiers, Pioneers moving in. IMG-42s, also the Pioneers, they're further up north. Second Grenadiers squad here for VonIvan. Bassam yelling in the background. Pathfinders probing about here. Ralph's going northwest. So a bit of skirmishing of Pathfinders being pushed back by the path of Pioneers. Second Grenadiers squad almost done there for VonIvan. Pioneers sitting losses. Auto drops dead here. And the rest they will have to are withdrawing home to avoid, you know, sharing the same fate as Otto. So right now we can see that Theodosius is pushing hard northwest here. VonIvan will need to bring in more forces to halt and thwart this move. As we're galloping in. And we got more infantry out for Theodosius, putting up to 3 Ralph squads and 2 Pathfinder squads. Not an uncommon build to see with airborne builds for the US at the moment. Go for a bunch of Pathfinders, go for a bunch of Riflemen. Which of course is what happens next. Airborne, most likely. There might also be other surprises here from Theodosius. Southwest here, we got Pioneers trying to have Pathfinder squad here. Now the machine gun here for VonIvan, 2 Grenadiers, 72-42s, fairly standard mechanized build as well. We got a weapon support in different Theodosius. Now that is where things get a bit more interesting, notably less common, though again there's been a slight rise in action in American players sort of trying out snipers again, I've noticed, seemingly spearheaded by Orange Pest. There's been a slight increase in players there. Rascal flanking the M42, so it's not impossible that Theodosius might be thinking of that, honestly. We'll have to see, of course, if that's what's going. Machine gun on the flank here. But I'm so caught up in the troops that he can't forget about the other side, though he does have 2 Grenadier squads. 1 Ralph squad has been sent packing, so he can send the Pathfinders off as well. He could focus on the Riflemen there. Back in Theodosius' base, we also get the Mechanized Support Center, so that is a very interesting build here from Theodosius. Very interesting. We got Airborne, we got Weapon Support Center, we got the Mechanized Support Center, so no Air Support Center or Infantry Support Center, which is only the more common stuff here. Vessel really wants my attention. Panzer's here for VonIvan. Rifle falling a bit back here. Machine, of course, pursuing them aggressively, going for the car front here as well. Pathfinders proving forward for freedom, democracy. Pioneers stay in a bit of a tight spot. And Pioneers forced to withdraw here, absolutely outgunned by the Americans. The GIs with their M1 Garands, semi-automatic rifles. Machine gun moving up. The The MG42 path is about to get spotted by there, noting I don't think it's upgraded either Pathfinder squad here with the utility package, meaning no smoke, no flares, no rifle grenades. And these are the rifle squad they're flanking around. Map so far 50-50 split here between VonIvan and Theodosius. Popping over to Theodosius. 3 rifle squads, 2 Pathfinders. And no, he's going for the M16 here. That is also an interesting choice. We haven't seen a lot of the M16 used to be popular early on, but kind of sort of dropped off a bit at the radar without any direct nerfs. But seems like Theodosius is looking to revive the meat chopper here, the crop mower. So that should be an interesting move here. We'll, of course, have to see a phenomenal response to that. I would expect a Pack 40 here, though, of course, depending on where he is, you could also go for an Achtrad, like hit back at the M16. So that will be quite interesting to see there. One interesting to see. M16 almost done. Go. 450 cals there mounted. Grabbing the points here, steadily pushing himself as they're VonIvan at the same time. Theodosius, though, making a sneaky move on the calf point here, disrupting VonIvan's resource income. Pack 40 on the way. He does have healing here, and he definitely needs his first grenadiers. Yeah, these machine guns being extendable definitely quite vulnerable to the M16, and I imagine this is going to be quite the surprise to VonIvan because most players nowadays do not go for the M16 at all. So there you go, MD42 versus the M16 here. Russia's Force for Freedom Democracy tearing into that MD42 team dealing a lot of damage here, forcing retreat. So into the Pioneers far south here as VonIvan is trying to hit here. Theodosius fueling come there, try and buy himself some more time. Meanwhile, Theodosius doing the same, but of course he hit the calf point first, which is, I would say, the major difference between VonIvan and Theodosius. They're both trying to achieve the same, but Theodosius just hit one of those squishier points. So, pumping pro bit here, Pack 40 at the ready, the Panzer at Kanone 40. VonIvan, of course, need to reconnect here swiftly in the west. Pioneers first healed up now, so connect to do that there. Pioneers definitely in the danger zone of getting wiped out by the M16. We got the MU42 here being slowed surrounded here. VonIvan definitely struggling a bit here to keep up with things. As for him, we got nothing else going on. No Panzer Grenadier. I'm guessing he's putting his resource towards the Achtrad, or even maybe the Stug E call in there. Stug D, I think. Pathfinders push back here. Pack 40 Grenadiers and Pioneers all pushing forward. See M16 rushing westwards. Got the calf one back here, but for how long will it actually matter now that Theodosius and the Americans are gobbling up the rest part of the map here? No paratroopers, by the way. We do have engineers to repair the half-track. Very good pick there. North Grenadiers catching the rifle squad. They're pushing them back. MD4 was the M16. Could pop the White Fuzzles rounds, but honestly, it's not a very good vehicle counter, though. Southwick and these ground points. Pioneers as well. We got Flamethrowers up for VonIvan Sluppen. And we got BARs there on the way now for Theodosius. Certainly only increasing the presence and challenge here. Basil trying to attack my hand. Gonna try and nap him. There we go. Up here and cuddle him a bit, so maybe calm down a bit. Be less a fuzzy kitty cat. There we go. Norfolk, Grenadiers, Pioneers, Rifle Squad all clashing out there. The BARs are ready to mow down some goddamn crowds. We do get a shield on Granada, plus the machine gun and the flamethrowers, and the Theodosius men absolutely whelmed there, but the German forces are rapidly forced to withdraw here, unable to meet such delirious German firepower. We got mines as well for Theodosius. As for VonIvan, we do have the support elements that research could see Stuks in and out. Again, part of me would be expecting an Achtrad right about now. It's closer now. Try and hunt down the M16, but also put pressure on Theodosius' infantry. I mean, this map here in particular, I feel like the Achtrad is potentially incredibly good. I mean, that's kind of, I think, why to an extent Theodosius went for the M16 here. Basil apparently has had enough of their attentions. At least attention, not on his terms. Anti-tank already here though for Theodosius, immediately dropping in, clearly expecting something to come his way soon. He gets ready there. Map control definitely is swinging back a lot here, rapidly. Compared to, like, you know, the older version in Common 2, there's also less heavy focus in the center because the map is more open. There's a bit interesting there. Back to VonIvan, and the 26 Fantasy unit goes for a Nebelwerfer first. That is a peculiar choice, I must say. Definitely not what I expect under current circumstances of, you know, either Stug here on Achtrad, like Achtrad being great with the infantry and the M16 here. I'm a bit surprised at just the lack of an Achtrad here for VonIvan. Plus, again, you know, more distance between points, but also allow the Achtrad to be more usefully just grabbing points here from Theodosius. Oh, wait, we got the Nebelwerfer for VonIvan. Will be interesting how that works out. It's also got a bit of manpower flowing. They could also consider, of course, some Panzergrenadier. I would certainly recommend that. But again, VonIvan clearly has its own designs here for how he wants to tackle this map, so of course have to see what they are. Flares being popped, that of course does designate here utility packages for him. Smoke and flares, thumbs up. Now we got the Nebelwerfer ready for Safazerland. Meaning a fog thrower. Basically sort of a deceptive name, to, like, you know, make the Allies think it's just there for deploying smoke screens, when in reality it was there to deploy high explosives or, you know, incendiaries. In theory, even chemical weapons, but the Germans ultimately never really went for chemical weapons, fearing that, you know, if they did it, the Allies would start chucking chemical weapons at them as well, and that would obviously be really, really bad. An easy Panzerfaust M16, almost got it. Close call, but not quite there for VonIvan. Nebelwerfer at the ready. Manpower still being floated. I do wonder, is it really the Stug assault group he's planning here then? I have to assume so. I mean, well, the Achad is definitely like the more overwhelmingly popular choice. There's definitely like a small breed of mechanized commanders here who will go for the Stug D assault group. So, it certainly seems possible this is exactly what VonIvan's game here is in fact the Stug D assault group. We got more stuff being airdropped. Maybe another anti-tank gun could be a paratroop squad here for Theodosius. Freedom, democracy, liberty. Paratroop indeed. And there you go. 3 command points means VonIvan can now go for the Stug assault group if that is what he wants. And again, I'd have to assume so. Like, he needs the infantry and he certainly needs something to push back at Theodosius with. And the Stug Ausführung D would certainly be a good recipe for that. So far, VonIvan remains withdrawn here. He's not quite willing to press that button, it appears. Oh, there we go. Spoke too soon. There you go. Stug D arriving. Panzer's loaded upon it. Victory points wise, Theodosius also is a good leader for VonIvan. VonIvan's going to need to make up for a lot of lost time here. I'm surprised he pops them off here since, you know, on a map size of this big, you know, I'd imagine he wants the infantry on the spot as well there. So, you could just, like, drop them off a bit closer to the front line. But oh well, that's just me anyways. But the crucial part is now VonIvan does have some armor out, and crucially he also has some more infantry out. Both of which are things VonIvan really needed instead of floating, like, you know, close to 800 manpower. That said, should definitely add a pinlock machine gun here to the Stug D. And it could still do with more infantry, honestly. More Panzergrenadiers, I think, would be an excellent addition here for VonIvan versus Theodosius. Center here, we got the M16 versus the Pioneers. East side here, Grenadiers, machine gun being hauled towards the field. Further east, Pioneers here about to be engaged with the paratroopers. A lot of engagements here. Stug versus the Rifleman. Bob, they're getting blown to bits here. Panzergrenadiers, machine gun being foldouts. Yeah, lack of machine gun is certainly not helping VonIvan there. That is machine gun on the Stug. Put on points left for VonIvan. Paratroopers being pushed back, engineers forced off as well here. M16 still at basic work here for Theodosius. No sign of further attack, though again, apart would expect a tank depot soon enough, and, you know, a push for Shermans. Anti-tank pursuing the Sturmgeschütz. Good shot there through the side armor. Panzers there making very light work here, the Rifleman, and we got the anti-tanks now could actually rush down by the Panzergrenadiers with a bit of a good push. East side here, machine gun anti-tank trouble here as Theodosius Pathfinders finds a gap in VonIvan's lines and are quick to exploit it, ceaselessly and mercilessly. Points are being hit here, and particularly he's going for all the carve points. Thumbs up to Theodosius. VonIvan though, back to flooding a bit of resources here. Pathfinders there finding no paths, but instead the Sturmgeschütz. High Ausführung D, one of the earliest model of the Stugs for the low velocity gun there. Of course, the war went on, and the need for higher penetrating guns became very apparent. They would, of course, quickly move towards guns with higher velocity. Initial version of that would be the F8. And then, of course, you have the Stug G. So, what will be next for now? Stug G. Another Stug Assault Group. That is technically an option. That is technically an option. Now, he does go for the Stug G. Sturmgeschütz 3 Ausführung G. But now there's definitely getting better map control with Theodosius, the Stug G, and of course just the addition of more infantry are proving to be useful. And certainly, I still feel like you could do with a bit more infantry, but at least as what I call the bare minimum, which is 3 infantry squads. Anything less than that, I think you'll typically struggle with map control a lot of the time. Meanwhile, Theodosius has plenty more there with paratroopers, 3 rifle squads, and 2 Pathfinder squads. They're having a lot more presence on the field that way. As for Theodosius, we also got the tank depot now going up, so likely Shermans. And, perhaps 76mm conversions there if Theodosius feels the need of versus VonIvan. Another push into the east side here. Rifle squad was then forward, but heavy cover there, of course, provides excellent cover, meaning they can't easily suppress. We got the Stug moving in. Also got the machine gun at it. Thumbs up to VonIvan, but there you go. Double anti-tank shells there, punching through the Stug's armor. Only one that actually penetrates, but the R1 certainly makes a bit of an impression as well. Shot at max distance, the bounces there a bit more. Machine gun wiped quite a bit of the VonIvan recruiting here. Need to retreat that immediately. He could merge as well, though, to keep the machine in a better state there, but yeah, needs to just retreat that. No matter what. Up north, in an attempt to break through into the western fields once more by Theodosius. And the 91st Invasional is thwarted here by men of the 26th Panzer Division here under VonIvan's command. Right from there, running to issue the Panzer Grenadiers and the Pioneers. Flamethrowers and assault rifles. Certainly not a healthy combo. And a bun grenade here. Theodosius not paying attention. Suffers a full wipe here. That is a great kill there for VonIvan. Definitely puts a bit of pressure there on Theodosius, forcing him to replace the infantry. Of course, he could have gone for more paratroopers, but clearly wants to get as much value out of those BARs as he can. Can't fault him for that. Stug G covering the center, and the machining gewehr to that as well. Thumbs up. Could also, of course, consider the officer quarters there, and we finally got the Nebula for firing. I'd honestly forgotten about that. Part of me wonders if VonIvan also had. Not the most effective barrage, but I guess did something. West side here, M16 hard at work there. Stug could be something to deal with it. But so far, VonIvan keeps the Stug very much on the serve here. Very much on the serve. Pioneers of the paratroopers in the southeast probing in. 16 running westward. Stug also going for it. Dashing in as swiftly as he can. Shot sort of went okay. That shot went much better. Good chance knocking out Theodosius M16 here. Almost had it there, but the machine gun there finishes off. The anti-tank's being holding to deal with the Stug. Needs to, of course, disengage rapidly. Grenades for Theodosius. Having had enough here of VonIvan's infantry, and of course, armor moving about freely. Theodosius decides it's time for some boom boom. 2 Stugs there for VonIvan and the German army. A lot of back and forth. Theodosius still maintaining, I think, excellent map control versus VonIvan to a good degree. Getting VonIvan there quite a tough time. Stugs moving about here again. Another push for the car pond here, though, and again another successful for that. But there you go. Point blank blast available. He has, I think, gone here for the officer quarters. There you go. Great shot. Almost getting a wipe here. Machine gun pointing in the wrong direction. Stug, though, might be able to score a wipe him. Theodosius. There we go. Almost got him. 8 points of health left. Can Theodosius manage it? Or VonIvan do it? No. Bit of luck there for Theodosius. For now, going for the car upon here. Finally return the favor to Theodosius and the Americans. See how these Americans like having their supply lines cut. What, horse? That's rude. Just do it without saying it. And another Stug Assault Group von Ivan. It also, of course, means more Panzer Grenadier here. We have 1 Stug G, 2 Stug Ds. Can't say I saw that one coming. We'll, of course, have to see if Theodosius sees it coming. That's going to be a fair amount of armor there from VonIvan that can blast through some of his infantry support weapons. As for Theodosius, we got the Sherman out here. Of course, whether or not he upgrades for this, we'll have to see. With that many Stugs, there might certainly be a small incentive. A small incentive doing that. Pathfind's got everything for 2 Pioneers leading the way here a bit as well. Stugs hanging back here. Pack 40s though. As well as in reserve here. Troops being mauled. We got the Sherman moving up. And there you go. Nice flank here with the rifle grenade. Captain machine gun team in the bad spot here. Pioneers need to withdraw. Stug D engaging the paratroops here. Completely obliterating Cole. Double anti-tank there punching through the Stug's frontal armor. Pushing down to less than half health here. Meanwhile, east side here. Pathfind bombarded by the Stug G Nebula for barrage unit turning on the anti-tank guns. Going for it hard. Rockets though all over the place here. None of which hit. Pathfind being headed with the Stug D. Panzers pushing in to force them off fully. Northeasting about hitting the flank of VonIvan. And there you go, another push in the center here from Theodosius. Pathfinders, rifle moving up. Sherman also advancing here for freedom and democracy. Good shot from the Pack 40 right through the Sherman's frontal armor. Geballte landing in the rifle could threaten to blow them into tiny chunks, but no dice there. Grenade on the Pack 40. Another pack shot there, in fact. Theodosius Sherman is about to become a flaming tin can if he's not careful. Anti-tanks again, the Sturmgeschütz. More troops sitting out here for VonIvan. Grabbing the points here in the west, back from Theodosius. And the 82nd Airborne here. Sherman being hauled back for repairs. And we do in fact get the 76mm conversion here for Theodosius. Thumbs up. Back to VonIvan, by the way. He's slightly got caught up in things. VonIvan is not too far away from the Panther, though. Not too far away. Fixing up the Stugs. Does he actually have the officer quarters? Just imagine that. No, he did not, in fact. Interesting. Well, you live and you learn. 134 versus 331. VonIvan definitely needs to get a bit more active here versus Theodosius. I mean, despite having, that many Stugs, he's being rather conservative with them. Which is definitely helping out Theodosius with the map control. I've been up for some seeing like any moves into the east, for example, here. And well, to an extent, I do understand he wants to be careful because of the anti-tank guns. Like, it just allows them to just, hold his Stugs completely in check. I mean, the alternate sense doing a lot there, but without having to actually fight. So, it's a bit of a dangerous situation here for VonIvan in that sense. It's a bit dangerous. Fresh push up the center here as the Americans look to claim the victory point here. Wait from the Crouch. The west side here, anti-tank being hauled forwards. Backed up at Pathfinder's paratroopers. Sherman forwards there with its 76mm gun. Engaging the German infantry, of course, quite easy targets. Force the Grenadiers off here. Send here Grenadiers. Ooh, Pioneers wipe. That's definitely a bit of painful there for VonIvan. Does have one other Pioneer squad. He can replace the ones he had, but certainly hurts a bit here. Stug still remaining very reserved. Also not a lot of action east side here. More Pioneers ready, machine glad to get wiped here by Theodosius as he and the 91st Infantry break through into the western fields. Sturmgeschütz, the bombarding engineers, double high explosive shells there blasting through the engineers. Machine gun C2, he actually almost wiped out his own MB-42 because he's attack grounding here. This could theoretically allow for now to wipe it out again, but no. Theodosius, despite his own eagerness, still gets away with MB-42. Nebula for barrage here on the anti-tank guns. There we go. Engineers, paratroopers, or Pathfinder's paratroopers being caught here by the Stugs. Meanwhile, the anti-tank being forced away here. Centerwards, though. East side, at least we got Panzer Grenadiers. Pathfinders could try and grab here with a bit of smoke to support. 300 points left here for Theodosius. At this point, he's almost got like every structure except the motor pool. Sherman sent towards the center here. Equipped with a 76mm Sherman. A gun. They actually tried to like upgrade it with the 3-inch gun of the Wolverine tank destroyer, or the M10. But with the turrets, they couldn't actually fit in their gun, and by the time they did have a bigger turret, they also had a better gun than the 3-inch gun of the M10. So little fun fact there. Panzergrenadier going towards the center here. VonIvan, though, can now start pushing for Panthers. He's got the command points, he's got the fuel. He just needs a bit more manpower and start unleashing those Panthers on Theodosius. That sentiment, I think, is going to get tough for Theodosius at that stage. So VonIvan's going to have like 2 Stuke Ds, 1 Stuke G, and then, you know, Panther. Backed up by a fair amount of infantry. Maybe also see, you know, that Theodosius perhaps could have been more aggressive, at least looked like perhaps inflict some harder losses here to VonIvan, because at this point, at this rate, VonIvan is never going to build up towards critical mass, though it does help he actually has too many units now, so perhaps not as much. An issue there for Theodosius. I mean, if VonIvan can't go for the Panther, I mean, the Panther is sort of not a threat, at least not right away. Of course, I'm sure VonIvan will find ways to get around that issue. Yeah, we need you to do some reconnaissance over there. We know the enemy's there. We know they got all the guns. Yeah, just do some more reconnaissance. Make sure they're still there. Yeah. Yeah. Also, you don't need your guns. Leave them behind. Yeah. Anyways, Route Squad being hit in the barrage off here. Pathfinder found their positions getting very hot here. So is the anti-tanker nearby. But they're bursting into flames. Johnny as well. And Timmy. Route Squad else getting hit here. That was a quite good Neva barrage here for VonIvan. Quite the barrage. Could actually exploit this here. But fortunately, though, for Theodosius... Oh, he still closes out again. Great. West side here, bit of probing about here. Got Theodosius up behind VonIvan's lines. We've got some losses in here, meaning he can actually call in the Panther now. He absolutely should. Panther is almost wiping out the machinery as well. Close call there for VonIvan, but falls a bit short. Panther. There is a Panzerkampfwagen 5. Machine gun wiped there as well. Paratrooper with the light machine, but they getting hit with the Gebalde-Ladung, forced away. Should destroy that anti-tank or seize it. Still no Panther, though. And we got the MD-42 Panzers immediately from through those Americans. Sherman engaged, you need to retreat these troops. Schnell. 133, 247 for now. It's like really starting to like put pressure on Theodosius. I mean, his early game definitely had some issues, but now he's sort of like, you know, got the armored fleet going. He's definitely giving Theodosius a much tougher time. Back to Theodosius here. Theodosius does manage to bring in another Sherman here. Starting to get that Detroit steamroller going. And get more going. That's going to be trouble here for VonIvan. A lot of trouble. I think to some degree still like somewhat fortunate VonIvan has been more aggressive. West side here though. Got a larger tactical grouping for Theodosius being dispatched towards the western fields. Sherman backed up with 2 rifle squads. Good flank around VonIvan and do a lot of damage. Or just gobble up the western territories. Also got the rocket strike ready here. Stuke's hanging back here for VonIvan. And there go Nebula barrage off again. Big fan of the Nebula Alpha, clearly. Stuke's bombarding. And got Raven there being absolutely polarized. Got Pioneers with the Grenadiers with a flamethrower actually. Stuke going in for the Sherman. Good shot there through the sidearm of the Sherman. Definitely not ready for that little surprise. Send the paratroopers straight into the Stuke D here, close to 82. Pine, I ain't seen caught with the Pines, but they're about to get wiped out themselves. Second Stuke D, kind of forgotten about VonIvan, it appears. Rather forgotten. Which is very fortunate for Theodosius. Paratroopers being mauled out in the open, forced withdraw here. And we got that anti-tank here under VonIvan's command, ready to engage Theodosius Sherman. Stuke setting out here, VonIvan and the 26th Panzer Division. 7th Panzer Grenadier Company launches forwards here against the Amerikaner. Ready to force them back into the Mediterranean. Panzer being handled here by the Sherman. East side there we got Panzer flank up behind Theodosius' right flank. The Sturmgewehrs certainly overwhelming the Pathfinders pretty rapidly. Both need to go for the passive healing bonus there. Sherman there scores a kill there. Absolutely obliterating Reinhardt, leaving the rest of the squadron's command there of Friedrich. Still no Panther though for VonIvan. So Theodosius. Not much there either. Got 168% on 33. I mean, VonIvan's really been able to, like, you know, bring down the victory point difference between them now. In fact, he's almost got the lead over Theodosius. That is actually a bit dangerous with Theodosius. A bit dangerous. Stuke there, need repairs. Need to have a bad arch again. But there you go. Rocket strike here. I think now in the entertainment machine gun. Rockets utterly obliterating the machine gun and the entertainment crew. Definitely not having a great time either. Great strike here for Theodosius. Absolutely amazing. Of course, if you're VonIvan, the word you're probably looking for is not amazing. Pushing for the anti-tank, if Theodosius and then 82nd Airborne, I mean not 91st, 82nd Airborne could seize it, that'd be pretty great for them. There you go, wrecking the anti-tank at least. That also helps. Stuke there bouncing a shot. Stuke's otherwise hanging back in reserve here, and there we go. I think it is indeed the Panther, the Panzerkampfwagen 5, Ausführung D, the early model of the Panther. So Theodosius is going to have a bit of a challenge in his hands. So he does have 2 anti-tank guns and 2 76mm Shermans. But if VonIvan has like make a good push with the Panther and the Stuke supporting it, that could leave Theodosius in a pretty uncomfortable position. 104 was on the 24. Panther wing 4 bouts. Shoots, get some light damage on the right from there. Panther there being ripped apart out in the open, but VonIvan keeps believing they can manage it. We got the Stukes being assembled here into a smaller tactical grouping there as well. So got the other Stuke D hanging back here. At times it feels like VonIvan's just kind of forgotten about it. Got the center there away from the MI-cannon, and we got another push here for the southeastern victory point. But we got the Sherman and multiple units moving in there. Neither have a rocket strike here, causing complete havoc in Theodosius' main line here. VonIvan, though, continues to be very reserved with his armor. Panzer in the south there forced to withdraw. Bun grenade, though, not doing too much. Very fortunate here for Theodosius that VonIvan is just, you know, not quite leveraging the sheer numbers he's got in terms of armor here versus him. So now that he has the Panther there, I mean, he's a significant threat to these 76mm Shermans. In fact, we now got a 3rd Sherman out here for Theodosius. Freedom and Democracy. Back to VonIvan. 121 versus 125 here. The gap continues close. He's pushing for the southern victory point. Sherman's engaging up. Panther the withdrawing. Stuke's just slow moving forwards here. We still got the anti-tank guns. Stuke shoots, bounces. Anti-tank guns and the Sherman, they do appear not to bounce off VonIvan Stuke. And down one goes here. Great killer for Theodosius. In the center of that Panther versus the Shermans. A Pathfinder squad gets utterly obliterated. Shots punching through here. The Panther frontal armor due to the higher velocity of the gun. .40 is almost done here. I feel like at this point VonIvan's kind of in trouble because he missed that window opportunity before, like Theodosius was able to hit like a more critical mass of 76mm Shermans. At which point now VonIvan is a bit of a tough spot. And the Stuke Ds, while nice versus the infantry, really are not going to help against that. Really not. So definitely a challenge here for VonIvan. He's going to have to, like, you know, pull off something here. Pretty amazing versus Theodosius now, I think. But he needs Theodosius to make a pretty big mistake in return. Sherman getting the Panthers here. Good shot there. Both squads caught out in the open. Second Sherman joining in, and the anti-tank support for the Panther is absolutely absent here. Leaving the German infantry to just be utterly pummeled into the ground. The casualties piling up here. In fact, we almost got a full wipe on one of the Pentagon squads here. Close call there for VonIvan. Southeast guns pushing forwards again, but there are engineers and another Sherman waiting here. VonIvan is definitely struggling here. Another Niebenwerfer barrage. And now Theodosius has managed to seize all victory points. Buildings collapsing here. North Iraq squad caught by the enemy for 2 grenades push from the northwestern victory point here. 89 versus 105. 86. Panther's not being repaired here. Pressure on VonIvan things causing him to overlook things here and there. German getting the machine to give out. And there goes straight from the tank into the sidearm, of course, offering no real protection, as the sidearm on the Panther was fairly weak, of roughly the same thickness as like most other medium tanks. And the Panther is knocked out. Great kill for Theodosius at this point. It does very much look like GG here for VonIvan. His men are dying in droves. He's got just 2 Stu Ds and a Pack 40. And as mentioned, the Stu Ds are not quite great versus the armor. Stu D down, infantry being utterly obliterated. At this point, it is starting to look like heavily GG here, with VonIvan's options of turning this around looking incredibly slim. And Theodosius, of course, is just pushing as hard as he can here, hoping, like, you know, not to give VonIvan any breathing space and a chance to recover. And with that, the Pack 40 goes down here. And he's being hammered by the other Sherman. Neither ever cleared out. Fires one last rocket here, but it's just not enough. There you go. Absolutely brutal here. VonIvan's forces have been decimated, if not straight up destroyed. The Nebelwerfer has been rendered into, well, nothing but a loose assembly of tubes. So there you go. GG, well played. Game over. Fierce fight here on Crossroads. In the end, I think part of VonIvan's issue was, like, you know, he kind of ended up playing too defensive and had, like, multiple assault guns. He ended up, like, not using them a lot of time, which gave, you know, Theodosius a lot more room to maneuver about and bring up his tanks. And even the Panther ended up being, you know, I think significantly delayed. So, and even when he then had the Panther again, he gave Theodosius plenty of time to build up his forces. So I feel like in terms of timings, I think sort of like VonIvan struggled a bit here. He's only, I think, begun playing the game recently. I think been away for some time. So, but still, you know, I think in some regards he definitely did well. I mean, he brought his opponent down to like 105 victory points. It's not like he's a complete slouch. But, you know, when push came to shove, VonIvan just, you know, kind of dithered a bit about. They're giving, I think, Theodosius enough time to, like, catch up, you know, catch his breath, and then push back against VonIvan with these 76 Shermans, which definitely did their part. So, hope you enjoyed this match. So, I hope you learned something from it. Hope it gives you good matches. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment. You can also support the Propagandacaster by donating our pledge on Patreon. Links in the description. This is Imperial King. Cheers, and see you all tomorrow for another episode. Bye, everyone.